trying to work on this pantry and stuff. You can see those green onions are still, I'm still harvesting from them. They're about at the last width, but I am cleaning this up, trying to get this stuff together so I won't have to worry about this, this thing later, because it's getting ready to start booming here. Spring is on its way, and I gotta have this cleared out. I gotta have my canning jars, everything in its place, and flour and all that good stuff, so I can be able to get everything ready. I done already got started taking stuff off shelves, and I gotta get rid of these cans and put them up and all that good stuff, and put stuff in these containers. And that's what I got to do. Oh, pray for me, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Yeah. Yeah. Hey y'all, so I'm back. Welcome back to L&L Honeycomb Homestead. And right now I'm sitting in my dining room. My dining room is really small. So really I've got it as my little office where I'm doing my bills and stuff like that. But that's besides that. What you came on here for was for me to show you the after. Okay, now this was a long process as well too. Between gardening, cleaning out that garage, and all that other stuff. This was also a project, but it was something that I had to take my time with because it's pertaining food and everything else, and sanitation, all that, and what I'm going to be using on a regular basis. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is how I organized this. Within a year and a half, I had this young lady. She had asked me if I wanted some jars, some pickle jars. I was like, yeah, because I can use pickle jars to store some stuff up that I'm going to be using all the time. I ain't got to worry about sealing them because I'm going to be using them on a regular basis. It's a difference. If you're going to be using them, there's no sense in sealing it. But if you are not going to be using it anytime soon, then yes, you need to seal your stuff up so that way it can last a good long shelf life. But since I'm going to be using these things, I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I'm going to use it all the time. So what I'm going to show you, she gave me some jars. And when I say she gave me some jars, I got 6 boxes of all size pickle jars. All sizes. Small to the large jars of pickle jars, relish jars, anything that's got something to do with pickles. She gave them to me. So what I did was, they were already clean, but I went back and I sanitized those jars again. I washed them with soap and water. Thank God that the sticker was already off of it, and I didn't have to worry about dealing with those stickers being on the jars, the pickle jars. So I went back in there and I washed them with soap and water, then turned around and put them in my dishwasher and let it go through its cycle as well too for double sanitation. And then it went through a heating, sanitizing, sanitizing process as well in the dishwasher. The lids I did the same way. So I'm going to show you what I've done so far. I'm going to have to get another rack, y'all, because I got a lot of stuff. So I'm going to show you what I was able to do that I was pleased and that will work with me for right now until I get what I really want to get done, okay? So I'm going to turn this camera around and quit babbling and turn this camera around so you can see what I've done, okay? Okay, so we're going to start with my pots, okay? These are the pots that I have gotten over time. These buckets are going to be where I preserve rice, beans, noodles, whatever I could get to preserve, flowers and all that good stuff. You know what I'm talking about. So I don't have to keep going to the store. So I'm gonna do those white buckets right here, and they're down here as well, as you can see. So we're gonna start from the bottom. So down here, I got all those buckets down here, and what I was just telling you what I was going to use those for. So in the first thing, I got these from Dollar Tree about 3 or 4 years ago. And I've used them to put my onions in, my sweet potatoes in, and my potatoes in. Okay? So all of that. And then down below that, I've got all my crock pots. All my crock pots are lined up down there in the bottom. I have about 4 crock pots. You can never have enough. But those were all my little trinkets and stuff all up underneath there. Okay? Above that, here are the jars. Now, I have my cornmeal, my all-purpose flour, my whole wheat flour, my pancake mix, my powdered sugar, and my brown sugar. And I sanitized all these jars because I do use these on a regular, because I do make my own bread now. I make cornbread and all that good stuff. And here's my measuring containers right here, so that way I can be able to go in and get all that. And it also helps me see how low I am. It also lets me know I need to get a refill. And so until I can get all these white buckets filled up with everything, I won't have to keep going to the store to fill these up. I can use one of those buckets to fill my containers up. But that's, like I said, it's another process, and that will be in the making. But as you can see, this is what that's looking like on that shelf. On the next shelf, I have my cornstarch, my whole roasted almonds, my raisins, my 100% pure baking cocoa. And these are the extracts that I've made back in, I believe, let me see, it was in, let me look. I got it written down. It was back in December. So if y'all watch that video, you can see how I made my extracts. Go back and look up in the videos, and you'll see how I made these extracts. So I got my vanilla, I got my orange, I have some almond back there, and I have lemon as well. Let me give you a snippet. See, that's the lemon. And this is the almond. And that's the vanilla, as you can see. But I made that so I won't have to worry about going to the store and getting that. I have not opened them up since I've made it. I've shaken it up every day. And I will be putting this back in a dark place. But just for the video, I wanted to show you that because I wanted to do an update on those. So this is a perfect time for me to show you that, yes, this is what it looks like since I've did it back of last year up to where we at right now. And those are my extracts that I don't have to go to the store and buy. I made my own. Pure vanilla. I use vanilla beans. As you can see, they're in there. Yes, so go back and watch that video so that way you can make your own extracts and you won't have to worry about spending an arm and leg on extracts. And I will be making some mint and some other extracts as well too. Okay? And then beside that, I canned up my own almond butter. Just like how peanut butter is, you could do the same thing with almonds. And so we make a lot of that sandwiches right there, because it has its own oils and everything with it. You don't have to add any oils unless you want to, but almonds, peanuts have their own natural oils. And so we went through 3 jars. I made 3 jars of it, so we're down to this last jar. And behind it, I made my own syrup, strawberry syrup. I made that also last year. And then I turned around and made some strawberry jam. I made some pear jam. I also have some plum jam jelly, and behind it is some blueberry. And then also I had canned up some sweet potatoes as well. I put the sweet potatoes with these right here because I'm the only one that eats sweet potatoes, and I might want to make a sweet potato casserole or something like that for myself, my own individual. So I put that up there since it's got its own natural sweeteners with that. Okay, so that's the sweet potatoes that I canned. So I canned all of this up. I did all this by myself by researching and learning how to do all this canning, and I felt really pleased. And as you can see, that was back in November of last year when I did that. As we go on, I canned some more stuff. So this is when I was first starting how to can. I canned up some collard greens, some carrots, some squash, some bell pepper sage mix, some salsa that I had up here, and I made my own onion stock. I used up all the chicken stock. I used up all my vegetable stock. I got to get and make some more. But this is the onion stock, and I had a lot of that, so I'm down to 5 of those as well. So each one, I had at least 8 of each, and I used up all of those, and I'm down to 5 of the onion stocks. So that's everything that I learned how to can, and I'm very pleased on that as well. Okay, and before we go forward, I just want to scan so you can see really how I took the time and thoughts on how I was going to do this, since this is the only pantry I have. Okay, so over here I've got all the juices. This is the juices that I use to make my jams. I had different flavors. You can get any type of juice, but when you do get your juice, you want to get a juice that has it says the added ingredients and there's no extra sugar added. There's no sugar added. That's the one you want to get because you're going to be using some pectin. Okay, and so you want to make sure it's no other sugar added. Whatever sugar is in there, just leave it as is, but you don't want none that's added to it. So this is the apple that I have. Okay, I have apple, I have grape, and I also have some pineapple. So I will be canning these up as well because I want to make some more jellies, and those are some of the flavors that I want to have for my jellies, and I want to get some more flavors as well. And one of these alone will make a whole case of, of jelly. A whole case if you buy one case. It'll hold all of that. And on the side, I got all my canning rings over here so that when it's time, I'll have that on the side. So I can just grab that off the string. Okay, I got my regular lids and then I got my wide mouth lid. And then I also have my smasher if I need to smash. Until I can get me a food processor, I smashed my fruit. And I also got a automatic blender type little thing that helps me as well. Okay, and up here, this is my little thing that I have to put my canning stuff in until I can get something else. I got another one of these containers here, but it will take up too much space up at the top. So when I be able to get another one of these racks, I'll be able to put all my supplies on one of those racks. So this will work for me until then. So, okay, I got my shear gel here. I also have my canning lids and tops. And then I have my baking stuff in there as well, like my parchment paper. And yes, I do have the Ball Home Preservation book. This is where all the recipes are in. Great recipes. And I will be going through that book because I do want to keep stocking and having everything so I can have everything filled up. Not just on this shelf, but everything else. And if you hear the bird in the background, I guess I have a bird. Okay, over here, that's my pressure canning, and that's my water bath pots that I have. So all that's together. I also used this in one of the videos when I made my apple butter jam. If you have a whole bunch of tomatoes from the garden, if you have all that stuff and you don't have no room, it's just stuff that's just too small. If you got something like this, one of these cookers, you can be able to make a whole lot of stuff and can a lot of stuff in this. Like your chili and stuff like that, you can make a whole lot of that stuff in here and then can it up. And that will come in handy. And I am going to get another one of these because one is never enough. Like, that's why I said I got crock pots, because one crock pot is not enough. And if I want to make up a whole lot of one thing that I really, really like, if I want to can up a whole lot of it, then I can have a whole lot of this stuff, you know, slowly cooking so I can can up. And these are all the little bowls and pots from all sizes. I got some smaller ones in this one, then it's the next size, and this size, and then this size. And there's another size a little bit bigger than this. And I'm going to get that size. I am going to get it. And then here's my strainer. So yeah, that's everything up on the shelf. And so over here, this was the canned food that I have been gobbling. We have been gobbling and eating. And then I have a box too, and I will be putting that in the box so I can slide my can jars over. But yeah, I'm trying to do away with all these cans because, like I said, that garden's gonna be booming, and I'm not trying to have these. These will be for backups, just in case. There will be backups. I don't believe in throwing away any food, but if there is somebody hungry, I'll be happy to give them some canned goods. And then here are my canning jars. I got my ball, and then there's True Living, all of that. There's still more jars. And I have more jars than that, but I didn't want to stack them up because I didn't want it to fall over. So I got an area for that, but I just wanted to let you know this is the setup that I have going on so I can work with it slowly. And then down here at the bottom, those were all my little other measuring things and stuff that I have put that came inside this container. So I got a lot of stuff in there as well. That jar you see right there, that's what I made my extracts with. And that's that vegetable glycerin. Yes. I did not use alcohol because alcohol breaks things down too fast. And I want everything to be natural. And that would be my vegetable. So I'm going to step back a little bit so you can kind of get a whole cast over here. I told you this little thing is kind of small over here, so I'm trying to back up the mess again. But here is an overall look so you can see. Oh yeah, and I also wanted to tell you, you see what's sitting on those, see what those jars are sitting on? Okay. If I would have put it on that rack, every last one of them jars would have fell over. So what I used, or what I had by, you know, I did a lot of crafting. And so, like I said, about 3 or 4 years ago, I was riding around, this lady was throwing away some tiles. And she asked me, did I want this whole box of tiles? And I told her, yeah, I get it. She says, okay, because I'm tired of these tiles. I done did my house already, and I had some extras, and she gave them to me. So what I did was, since I didn't have no wood, I don't have no money for any wood right now, I used floor tiles. I took that box, I cleaned that box up with all the tiles that I have in here, and I put my containers on it. Those are floor tiles, y'all. And it's solid, and I ain't got to worry about nothing rocking or falling off of it. So use what you have. Ain't no shame in my game. So, yeah. This, like I said, it took time. I'm pleased with it. I'm happy with it. We'll be using all this stuff because I do use this stuff that's on here. It's just not here to look pretty. I do use it. I've used the food on here. There was more of that food that you see up here because I made a lot of it. We've been eating it. We really have been eating it. I'm not putting nothing to waste. It is being used. So if you really enjoyed this video, if you really liked it, give it a thumbs up. Maybe it'll give you some ideas on what you can do to make your pantry pretty. Or if you just don't have that room like I don't, this is what I did. And, and if you're using stuff on a regular basis, then, you can put it in a jar like this. But if you're not going to be just using it like that all the time, then you're going to have to seal them, and you're going to have to put you some oxygen absorbers in there as well for it to be good and preserved. And I will be doing that because I do have a lot more stuff that I will be putting in jars, like lentils and stuff like that. I still gonna put some of that because I do eat lentils as well too, and different beans, and that's on a regular basis too. So I will have some more stuff to put on the shelf or on my counter shelves, like in my cabinets, and so that way I can be able to go up in that and do the same thing. But I will be using it until I can get something that I'm not going to be using on a regular basis and seal them in there. I think they're beautiful. I think they're colorful, and it just makes an overall picture of your pantry look just gorgeous. I don't have nobody's basement. I don't have any of those things. But what I will do, I will be cleaning out my hall closet and use all my towels and all that stuff and put it in the spare bedroom in my room. I will put all those towels up in there. And that way I can use the shelf space in my hall closet for jars of things. And that's what I had my extracts in. Since it's a cool, dark space, that's why the vanilla's dark and stuff like that. But I will be taking this off the shelf and putting it back in that hall shelf because the lighting. But overall, I am very grateful and very thankful for finishing what I needed to finish. And yeah, it's a process, but it sure will make your pantry look really good. So this is L&L Honeycomb Homestead. I'm glad you took the time to watch the video. I really am grateful. And like I said, you might have seen some stuff in the background. I'm still working at it, but like I said, I will be using the hallway for shelf space too, because I'm going to be emptying a lot of things and throwing it out as far as boxes when I can put them in jars. I have 6 boxes of these jars of all these sizes, full. I mean, double stacked. It ain't just one row, it's a double stack in each box of each size of the ones that you see as far as the pickle jars. These were the pickle jars where you see with the green lids on. And there's all different sizes. So, yeah. And then these were my canning jars that I used on my own. And these are also with the canning as well. These plastic tops. They're ball as well. And that's what I used instead of the metal rings, because the metal rings would tend to rust and I don't want that. So you can use the plastic tops, but it is a glass jar. So thank you for coming to L&L Honeycomb Homestead. I hope you enjoyed the video, y'all. And now that I'm indoors because it's raining, it gave me enough time to sit back, reflect, think, and decide how I was going to do this pantry. And maybe it can give you some pointers as well. Y'all have a great day. Until then.